He's got a lightning bolt coming out of the clouds with like a turkey or chicken leg.
What are you talking? Which album are you talking about?
Bump City.
Funk City?
Bump.
Did that upset you?
Oh my.
It did.
No.
I have that record, Bump City.
That's got Down to the Nightclub and You're Still a Young Man. Yeah. So that's a good one, too.
You know this song. This is the first song. You got to funkify.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing is, all their stuff sounds very similar.
Oh, yeah.
But it's got that funk.
He's got some great dance moves.
Yeah.
Either way, I just need to know what you're going to do so I can put my mind on it.
Yeah, what are we going to do?
Al, it's your show.
Yeah, haven't we talked about that? It's your show.
But if we don't like what you pick, we'll let you know.
Yes,
Right.
that's always how it is.
The first one has Knock Yourself Out. But I would say either the second or the third one if we're going to do Tower Power. But,
you know what's a really good one? Is Back to Oakland. Back to Oakland. No, Back to Oakland was a really big record for them.
Yeah.
Starts out like this. Check it out. The Oakland Stroke.
Oh, Steve. Cracking us up. He's gonna die.
Okay, that's fun.
Two is
Hey, David, are you
Here we
recording?
go, countdown. Yeah, I'm recording.
honestly, to me, the whole object of our show is not to showcase hits because we might as well do a top 40 show. And that's not what I'm doing.
Tower Power copyright.
Oh yeah, then you probably
We might
should
be.
do- Yeah, well, he needs to check.
I
that
think these
copyright.
guys want to get no.
But
check it.
I would say
They're probably fine.
Tower of Power would be a good one. That was the one you first suggested.
Well, that's because it had that song on it.
Yeah.
What it did?
But it's hip. But also, it's got that song "So Very Hard to Go." And then
You're
That's
still
just
a young man.
such a nice song.
Young man.
That is on.
Young man.
That is on Bump City.
Bump City.
Bump City. And that begins with that song, You Gotta
You got the
Funkified.
Funkified.
You mama be humping.
Oh my god.
There you go. These guys are great. They were great. They're still playing. They just put out a record last year.
Totally.
It should be okay.
Yeah?
I guess. I mean, we'll do it. Oh, I like that.
What?
I like that.
The song?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing about TFP is that they are so... Their strength was their horns, but they, but they're like everything. They're like a typical like R&B sound, like the Temptations or any of those guys. They just so awesome. Like you can't.
Just so awesome.
You just can't listen to it and not love it.
What is he saying?
Do you relate to what I'm saying? I mean, can you?
Yeah. No, definitely, yeah. Yeah. They got all kinds of different sounds going on.
Al's Album Hour.
Al's Album Hour. I think it's been 2 weeks since we were last on.
I think it's been 2 weeks. No, I don't know. Haven't checked.
I don't know. It's because we record this some different day, and then we go to the shed, and then I have to go to work, and then I will.
So stop breaking my balls. Balls to the wall. Hello, and welcome back to Al's Album Hour. Yeah. And,
Our Tower of Power.
And it's been a little while since we were last with you. And I'm not going to go into all that, but it's been a while and we've missed being here. I'm here with my co-host, producer, son, David Hurlbert. Hey, David.
Woo! Hello! How are you doing? I'm glad to be back. Wow!
And from California, our friend and co-host, Steve Geckler. Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
Computer Steve.
Hey, how you doing? It's great to be here. It's great to be finally home in California. Yeah. Almost didn't make it because we had a flat tire on the highway, and
man,
that's another whole story for another time. But we made it, and first day back in California, I had to fix the shower in the house, and do some other stuff. So, but it's good to be back on Al's Album Hour.
Not Al's app.
Oh, I was trying to keep it clean. But
Anyway,
we don't want to lose another sponsor.
no. Sponsor us.
So all you folks know what's been going on the last couple shows. Because Steve is been out of state, last show, Christmas show, and I'm not going to go into the whole what that show was called. I'm not going there. But anyway, Steve.
Christmas show.
Yes, the Christmas show.
Christmas show.
Yes, the Christmas show. But anyway, Steve was
because
in.
it was Christmas.
Okay, Steve was in Arizona, so we worked together on FaceTime and work at producing the show through FaceTime. So it's a lot of fun, and we have a lot of laughs before we do the show. So anyway, we are tonight going to play an album by a really great group that's a little bit of soul, a little bit of funk, and really big with horns. So you probably have guessed it, Tower of Power. And we're going to do the album Bump City. This is their second album from 1972 on Warner Brother Records. And so it's just really, anytime you hear their music, it's just gets you dancing. And so you got something to say about the
Tower Power Hour of our show?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I don't really know a lot about them, so I'm ready to be educated and to hear their music.
All right.
Yeah, definitely. This is a great record. Of course, I always say that every week, but it is. I love this band. They're out of Oakland, out of Northern California, and this is their second record and their first record on Warner Brothers. And in the beginning, they kind of went through a few vocalists. The guy that's doing the vocals on this album is Rick Stevens, but the guy that came a little bit later in the band was the most well-known. We won't even talk about him because he's not even on this record, but these guys are great. The horn section's tight. That's what they're known for, is the horns, the Tower of Power horns. And it's got some great funk and great stuff. Early 70s. Let's go way back to the early 70s.
Early 70s.
Okay, excellent.
And just want everybody to know just how influential these guys were. They were session guys in a lot of other music. They played on a lot of other albums. So I want to point out we were going to look at Steve, what's the name of the Oakland? Back to Oakland?
Back to Oakland.
Back to Oakland, yeah. But actually,
I think that was one of their bigger records.
Yeah, but Back to Oakland was, just as a drummer, Back to Oakland was voted by Drummers World, I think, as the best album that a drummer should listen to. So the drummer here is David Garibaldi, and just the whole band is tight. So anyway, without further ado... Okay, this is side 1 of Bump City, Tower of Power.
Yeah, our power, Tower of Power. I don't want to be sour during this show because it's the Tower of Power show.
Right.
And
don't be sour.
We got to get some flour and make a nice cake and celebrate.
Okay. That was side 1.
Okay, let's wait until you... Let's wait until we do our food.
More crackers?
They happen to be Ritz bits, so they're really good.
Sponsor us, Ritz.
Okay. Anyway, that was side 1 of Bump City.
Bump.
Yeah, I just wanted to say a couple quick things about the album. That was the second album of Tower of Power, and it was their first for Warner Brothers. I think.
You said that.
I know I didn't. I said it was, Warner Brothers. Oh, you said that? I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, but the cool thing about the album...
You like it because it's got a chicken leg on it.
No, it does have a very unusual album cover. It's a hand...
You know who drew that cover?
Oh.
The drummer.
The drummer. Yeah, it's got a hand coming out of the clouds with a thunderbolt, and the hand is holding some kind of a chicken or turkey leg. It's it's pretty cool.
It is cool.
And as you know, at Al's Album Hour, and I am gonna shout out to Steve here on this one. Steve is our album art guy, and I'm sure he really loves that. So
yeah, that's why half the reason why I buy records is because of the cover.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the songs that we happen to like on side 1. To me, right from the get-go, they get you. You got to funkifies. It's a great song. Just totally cool. In fact, I think that the songs on side 1 are probably better known than the songs on side 2, if I'm not mistaken. But that one...
I'm not so sure if you're right, Al, but...
But right off the bat, man, they get you going. They just really rock it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So,
I mean, at this point, they were kind of unknown. This was just like their second album, but what really made it for them is the live shows. When you go to see these guys live and then you hear this, like, oh my God. I like the first song, and I like the whole side 1. I love this band. Yeah. They're just great. They're so different from any other band. As soon as you hear them play, you know it's Tower of Power. Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. So
sometimes we're talking, the three of us, just talking, and then sometimes we're talking on microphone, and I sometimes forget what I said. But again, if I said it, I apologize. But they have that R&B sound, just like any of the huge groups out there. But they also their horn section is just huge. So a real great band to rock out to dance to funkifies. So anyway, you got something else to say?
I like the hour of the Tower of Power. I like all of it.
The Tower of Power hour.
I like the whole side.
The thing with this band, they didn't have a lot of hits. They had a few songs that were more popular than other ones. They maybe had about 3 or 4 big hits. But the thing is, the albums as a whole, you got to listen to the whole album. It's just great. There's a couple great songs that stand out, but it's the Tower of Power sound that you're gonna fall in love with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do we want to move on to side 2?
Let's move.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right, we're going to spin side 2 of Bump City by Tower of Power.
Yay!
So that was side 2 of Bump City, Tower of Power. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about side 2. And so, David, what's your take on side 2? What do you like about it?
Well, I just love it all. I love You're Still a Young Man. I think that's a really nice song. And Down to the Nightclub, of course. It's just really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Steve, how about you?
Yep. Those 2 songs are great. They're probably the biggest hits, if you want to call it that, from this record. You're Still a Young Man is a great slow ballad. It just shows the band doesn't always have to play tight, quick songs. They play some great slow stuff. And that whole side is good. Skating on Thin Ice and Of the Earth is a great song. So, great early 70s.
Yeah.
Yep.
70s.
And just technically, Down to the Nightclub did make the Billboard Hot 100 at 66. And You're Still a Young Man, number 29.
29.
And also on R&B singles, number 24.
24. You know what's better than 24?
I don't know.
25.
But also...
You don't get it.
Yeah, I get it.
SpongeBob.
Yes. So anyway, looking at an album, it's way different than just looking at how commercially successful it was. We really, that's why we're doing this, to really play the whole album so you guys can really get an idea of what the whole thing is like, what the group is like, some of the background. And so even though it's got some hits, the whole album's great. So anyway, that's really about all I have to say. Mm-hmm. And how about you,
Steve?
The only thing I wanted to say is that I have a little story.
He's always got a little story.
This is a really little story, but I just mostly wanted to just point out that this band is still putting out music to this day. Last year, I know it's the beginning of just 2019 right now, but in 2018, last year, they put out a record called Soul Side of Town. And I don't know exactly how many original players were on there, but there were original people from the original band still playing in the band, which is great. But it just goes to show you, I mean, these guys now, they're not young. They're in their 70s, and they're still putting out great stuff. It just really goes to show you the music is really timeless, and don't write anybody off just because they put an album out in the 70s. They're still great musicians, so
There you go.
they're still doing it.
There you go.
All right. Bob City.
Yeah. Well, guys, I think this seemed to be a short one tonight, but that's okay. It was a great album.
No, it's because you didn't rant and roll.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe next time.
All right. Yeah, we're glad to not hear from you as much.
Okay.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Maybe
It's his show.
maybe I'll rant and roll next time about that. But anyway, what I wanted to say, of course, as I usually do, and Steve will say the same thing time to time, that really important to support any musicians you see, because these guys, some of them, yeah, they made it. Some of them not so much. Especially if you see a guy playing his guitar or piano and he's got his tip jar out, throw him a tip. Go see some live shows, even some small venues, some bands maybe, they're not that big. Buy some CDs, some vinyl. Just it's important. Some of these guys really, they may have made it, for like household word, but really some of them, they're really not wealthy. They might have been taken advantage of by, executives or whatnot. So
I think this might actually be the perfect example of a band that was not really super popular, nationwide. I mean, there were like parts of the country that knew about them, and their live shows really was what promoted them. But I don't know if they were, you can't really say these guys were on the tip of your tongue. If you say Tower of Power, most people will go, what? Who? Oh, I think I heard of them. But these guys, they did it for the love of music, and what probably kept them going is they have got to be on 50, 70, 80 different albums that people use them in the background. Yeah. They use the horns, and they were known for the Tower of Power horns. Right. And that was really their claim to fame. So if you really check this record out, and I suggest just check out the other albums. They got a bunch of records out. So,
yeah.
Great.
All right, so I think we're going to call it a night. And, hey, doing so, we can have some more bourbon.
More bourbon.
We had to get one in there because I think we're pretty tame tonight also.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to call it a wrap, and, always appreciate your help, David, my son, my co-host, my producer, David Hurlbert. Thanks for being there for me.
Thank you, Dad, my Alan, my dad, my father, my co-host, my reproducer, and everything.
All right. And Steve, our neighbor, good friend, our long-distance warrior from way out in San Diego. Can't wait to have you back here in Connecticut.
Geez, we thought we got rid of you.
Yeah.
Kidding.
But anyway, thank you as always.
3 months.
Yeah. Thank you as always, Steve. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Al. I just want to say it's a 2019 great new year, great new Al's album hour. Lots of albums going to be coming your way.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
Lots
right.
more bourbon. I thought I'd throw another one in there since we weren't really all that crazy tonight.
More bourbon.
More bourbon.
Maybe we're more tired.
Nobody has to work tomorrow. That's why.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so
more sleep.
Yeah. So we're going to call it a wrap. So as usual, guys, thank you for joining us. Put some vinyl on, spin some vinyl. And until the next time, good night. Thank you for joining us. Somebody's got to get one of those in there.
I think we'll air this Tower of Power episode before the animals.
Yeah?
Yeah, because we kind of said at the end, it's a new year,
Yeah,
and there'll
we
be
did.
more albums.
We
So
did.
Well, yeah.
I think it fits for the first episode of
Yeah.
the year.
But until we get a little crazy at the end there, we were pretty tame. But I think,
Pretty boring,
But
I think.
I think we're tired, you know?
Yeah.
No, I know. That's
Yeah.
completely. I totally understand.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm still recording.
That's all, mother.